Have you ever heard one of those stories about someone who seemed perfectly healthy? I mean, they're active, they feel totally fine, and then boom, they're hit with a major health crisis out of nowhere. It's a story we hear way too often, isn't it? It's shocking, it's confusing, and it always makes you ask, how does that even happen? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden truth behind these sudden events, and it all starts with a very simple but really profound idea. Okay, let's really let that sink in for a second. This statement is the key to this entire conversation. What it's telling us is that these huge, life-altering health events, they're not just random bolts of lightning from a clear blue sky. No, they're the final, visible outcome of a long, invisible battle that's been raging inside our bodies, sometimes for years and years. So what is this invisible battle? It's a slow, silent process of damage. A good way to think about it is like a snake bite. At first, you might not feel much pain at all, but that venom is silently working its way through your system. Or, imagine a tiny, tiny leak in your roof. You don't see it for years until one day, after a big storm, water starts dripping right through your ceiling. The damage didn't just happen that day. It was building up all along, completely out of sight.
And here's exactly how that damage piles up. We are not talking about some flu you catch overnight. This is the end result of years of our bodies just dealing with it. Dealing with a constant overload of toxins, fighting off this chronic, silent inflammation, and just struggling along with major gaps in nutrition. Our bodies are absolutely incredible machines, and they tolerate all this quietly. You don't get any obvious symptoms, right up until they hit a breaking point. And that moment, that breaking point, is when the symptoms finally scream for attention.
So where is this fight actually happening? Well, for that, we need to zoom in, way, way in. The real battleground isn't in a specific organ or a system. It's happening inside the trillions of individual cells that literally make up our entire body. The health of our whole body starts with the health of each and every one of those tiny cells. Let's use an analogy. Think of your body as a country, and each one of your cells is a citizen. Well, the cell membrane, that's the border security force for every citizen. It's the super important barrier that decides what gets in, like good nutrients, and what has to stay out, like toxins. And the strength of this security force, it is built entirely from the materials we give it from our food, specifically essential fats. Now, this border security team is basically made of two opposing forces. You've got your omega-6 fats, which I want you to think of as the attackers, and then you have your omega-3 fats, who are the peacemakers. The attackers, omega-6, are pro-inflammatory. They sound the alarm and launch an attack when there's a threat, which is a good thing. We need that. But then the peacemakers, omega-3, are anti-inflammatory. They come in after the fight to calm everything down, repair the damage, and bring back the peace. The crucial thing here is that you need both, but they have to be in balance. And this is where we see the heart of the problem. Science tells us that for our bodies to be healthy, the perfect ratio of attackers to peacemakers should be about 3-to-1. But just look at this number. The average ratio found in India is a staggering 47-to-1. That's not just a little bit off balance, that is a massive, dangerous imbalance. Seriously, just try to picture a border with 47 attackers for every single peacemaker. It would be total chaos, right? A constant state of war. And that is exactly what's happening to our cells. This crazy imbalance creates nonstop, low-grade inflammation. The cell membrane gets stiff, it gets rigid, it stops working right. It can't let the good stuff, the nutrients in, and it can't get the bad stuff, the toxins out. The cell is literally starving and suffocating at the exact same time. I know, this all sounds pretty scary, right? Especially because you can't feel this imbalance happening inside you. So how in the world do you fix a problem you don't even know you have? Well, you stop guessing and you start measuring. It's just like the check engine light on your car's dashboard. You don't argue with it, you don't hope it goes away, you get it checked out. So the solution is a really clear, data-driven 3-step plan. First, you test. A simple blood spot test shows you the reading on your internal dashboard, your exact ratio. Second, you correct. There's a 120-day protocol that uses a targeted nutritional approach to bring that ratio back into balance. And third, and this part is so important, you verify. You take a second test to actually see the proof, to see the numbers change. And get this, 95% of people who follow this protocol get back to a healthy balance in just 4 months. Okay, the data and the science makes sense. But what does this actually look like in the real world? What happens when real people go from that state of chronic inflammation to one of cellular balance? Well, the stories are pretty incredible. Let's talk about Ismail Sir. At 73 years old, he started feeling his health begin to slip. So he started this protocol. And the results? He got his energy back, he reduced his body fat, and now he feels good enough to drive 900 kilometers without stopping. He took control based on his own data, and his body responded in a huge way. And here's a really fascinating insight from a health practitioner, Raju Vaidyar. He noticed that when his patients first worked on restoring their basic cellular health, their bodies just became way more receptive to other treatments. It's like fixing the foundation of a house before you try to paint the walls. You get the cells healthy, and everything else just starts to work better.
But this might be the most powerful story of them all. Salma Madam was on a ventilator after a really severe illness, and her doctors had pretty much given up hope. After she started this protocol, she experienced what felt like a miraculous recovery. I mean, she went from being told there was no hope to getting her life back and going on a tour. It's just a profound testament to what the human body can do when you give it the right tools to heal.
You see, these stories aren't magic. They're what happens when we finally stop treating symptoms and start addressing the root cause of the problem. That silent, chronic war happening inside our cells. They show us that taking control of our cellular health isn't some vague idea. It is a real, measurable, and totally transformative path to wellness. And that really brings us to the final crucial question we all have to ask ourselves. We often worry about the cost of being proactive, of investing in our health. But what's the real cost here? Is it taking care of your well-being now, or is it the unbelievable physical, emotional, and financial price of a sudden, totally unexpected health crisis? The power to change your own story is right there in your hands. And it starts not with guessing, but with knowing.
If you're serious about taking control of your health, this is the right place to start. To learn more, connect with us today. We'll guide you through the complete process. If you're ready to get started, simply scan the QR code provided and order your test kit directly from the official Swedish company website for India. For your safety, avoid buying from e-commerce platforms in India, as duplicate products are widely circulating. Don't compromise on what you put into your body.